Hi, this is Sy Keeler from Onslaught. You're listening to FearShop.com.
The FearShop.com Metal Podcast. Everybody, welcome to episode number 36 of the FearShop.com Metal Podcast. As always, your host, Mike, with you. And for this episode, we're just going to play a nice short and sweet interview we did with the lead vocalist from Onslaught, Sy Keeler. Once again, thanks for him being gracious enough with his time. And right after this short commercial break, we're going to get right into the interview. The FearShop.com Podcast is brought to you by FearShop.com. Store where horror meets metal, your online home for all of your favorite licensed horror movie shirts and all of your favorite licensed metal band concert tees. So for the best selections of hundreds of bands and thousands of shirts with everything always in stock and ready to ship, visit www.fearshop.com. Alright, so you ready to just get rolling into it?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Okay, so I saw that the European tour dates were just announced. It's a nice little trek you got going on. Do you have a set list worked out already, or?
No, we're due to start rehearsals tomorrow.
Okay.
And we've all we've submitted our ideas for set list, so we'll spend 20 minutes or so sort of compiling all our ideas, and of course we got to choose, which songs we're going to be doing from the new album to sort of fit in. We even now we've only got an hour and 20 minutes, so it's going to be difficult considering we've been playing an hour of all the old material up to now, and we want to be fitting in 4, maybe 5 songs, I would say, at least 5 songs from the new album. So it's going to be difficult. As I'm sure every band, when you get to their even 4th album, it becomes difficult, and then when you get to your 5th album, you still only an hour and 20 minutes. It is very difficult to choose.
I can honestly say the new one is definitely right up there. It's my top for you guys. That album. Yeah,
it's pretty much so. Yeah, we're all feeling the same. It is the ultimate album thus far. So yeah.
It's a little more. It's more than just thrash these days, right? I mean, you don't consider yourself just a thrash band anymore, do you?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that, because I hate to be tagged. I hate tags.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of other bands as well. Even Opeth these days are still called a death.
They're impossible to tag.
It isn't impossible. That's it. I hate being. Of course, you're also limiting your audience as well. When you say you're a thrash metal band, people are just going to sort of turn away immediately, and I'm always saying, this, especially this album, it's more than thrash. So we've got 8 songs of varying. Yeah, all right, there's some fast songs in there, which you will say, okay, no thrash, but it's so varied, so varied, and so I'm saying to everybody in all the interviews, don't give it a chance. It's not out and out thrash, as sort of say Slayer would be. It has melody. It's got some great slow numbers in there as well. So I'm pleased you raised that point. Thank you.
Yeah, because it definitely is. It is all over the place, so in a good way. Do you have any other dates coming out soon that you've seen? Any over in the States, or how does that?
Well, obviously we'd like to get it from the States this year. We've it's never been a question of because we've always wanted to come over.
Yeah.
Especially since we've reformed. Of course, we want things to be right, not only for us, but for promoters as well. The last thing we want is to turn up in the States and for promoters to be losing money. Because obviously there's a huge cost. I mean, not only the flights, all the visas have got to be paid for, etc., etc. So everything's got to be right. So yeah, this year we are planning something. We're going to see obviously how the album and where the album does well.
Yeah.
And then we'll hit those cities. Obviously, we're playing in New York, and we'll play over on the East Coast.
Yeah.
As far as there's so many places you can do. I mean, for friends of ours in the UK here, Eval have just come back. I think they've spent 3 months over in the States at the tail end of last year, and they were playing every little dive in the country, which it's not something we want to do, because obviously these promotions are going to be losing money.
Yeah.
We're going to get, cheesed off with playing, in front of nobody, as they were playing in front of like 20, 30 people or something.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of bands. I'm just outside the Philadelphia area.
Right.
So, we get most of the shows anyways, but I know there's a lot of areas sort of near the Philadelphia area that, like Allentown or something, that they'll play in, and some of those places are little dives, and I just know it's not working out too well for them.
That's right.
So how did the idea for the reunion come about anyways?
Well, Steve, our drummer, really sort of instigated the whole thing. He was aware, well, we were all aware, really, of the fact that the albums were still selling, and the albums had been re-released twice up to that stage through the company we ultimately signed with, Candlelight and Classic Head Distribution. Steve sort of did some groundwork with the distributors, and Steve found out that the albums were selling pretty well. So we thought, well, hell, despite the fact they were selling well, nobody actually contacted us to say, hey guys, your album's selling well, here's some money.
People just aren't too willing to throw money at you these days.
That's it. So we thought, well, rather than being ripped off, let's have a meeting and see if we can, get together again and give it a shot. And indeed, we agreed to do it. It was a bit slow to start with. None of us had played any of our instruments for several years, so it was a slow start, and we took a little while to find our feet. And again, in the recording process, it took a little while to find our feet. We were writing songs which we thought were fast and aggressive, but ultimately, when we recorded them as demos, they didn't sound very good at all. So we went back to the drawing board. But yeah, I'm very pleased that we have reformed. We've visited places in the world which back in the 80s, we could only dream of, and then these days we're flying off to South America, we're flying off to Eastern Europe, Turkey and Japan, and it's been fantastic. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it did all work out.
So why did you leave the band after the Force album anyways?
I didn't leave, I was pushed.
Oh, okay. I thought that maybe that was the...
No, we signed to London Records in the UK, big company who were dealing with mainly sort of mainstream pop and chart acts, and thrash metal at that time was big. Obviously the Metallicas, Thrax, Slayers, they're all big. So I think the bigger record labels in this country were sort of grabbing anything really. And I think Onslaught were, even back then, were at the forefront of the UK thrash scene, so they just threw money at it. And we demoed virtually the whole album, and the demos were fantastic. And even listening back to them now, the demos are fantastic. But when we presented the product to the bosses at London Records, they were very disappointed. They were very disappointed with the vocal performance. They wanted a polished, I use the word American sound, big, a great vocal frontman, big vocals. And so, I mean, it was great. What we thought was great. Obviously, we were really under the control of a major label that had thrown all this money at the band, and they were in charge, and unfortunately the rest of the boys went along with it, and which they obviously regretted soon afterwards. So yeah, hence I was indeed pushed, and they got Steve Grimmett in to get in their place, and everything went downhill from there.
And it's kind of weird because most of the fans were all like, "Yeah, it's a really good album, but they could have really used Sy on it."
Yeah, that's definitely even back then. I went to a couple of gigs here in the UK. They played a hometown gig here in Bristol. They played a London show, which